All right, and we're live. Thanks everybody for joining in. Today we have a set of panelists ready to talk about AI. Everybody here is an expert in their own ways, so we have different topics that we're going to be covering today. But the overarching topic, is AI for Amazon rank optimization. So my name is Pasha. I'm the CEO and founder of AMZ Optimized. We also have Danon Coleman from Ecom Triage, Chad Rubin from Prophecy, Brian R. Johnson from Deep M, Isabella Ritz of Ritz Momentum, and Timur of Ecom Tent filling in for Max Sinclair. So if everybody's ready, we can get started.
Let's do it.
So I'll be the first one to present. Then we'll have, who's next? Brian Johnson, then Isabella, Chad, Danon, and Timur. So let me share my screen here. Let me know if that's good.
Yep.
All right. And if I may ask during the time of presentation for the rest of the panelists to put themselves on mute, just so the audio is as clear as possible for the speaker. Awesome. So today I'll be talking about AI-powered backend keyword optimization. This is some research that we've been doing for a number of months. This is actually talking about something that we've been discussing and looking into for quite a while, starting with a V1. Now we have a V2 of this solution. So let's get started. So here's the problem. What we're noticing is that Amazon's algorithm is evolving and changing pretty fast. And so that means that we have to be pretty nimble. So Amazon is starting to prioritize semantic-based search and intent-driven indexing. So what that means is keyword stuffing is not as effective as it used to be, kind of the days of putting a bunch of keywords into every field possible. And then Amazon's like, oh, that's clearly the right choice. That's not really happening as much. And so what that means is that the valid backend attributes are becoming more essential and more important for search relevance. So Amazon is a catalog. Essentially, they have millions of products, and the only way they know what to give somebody when they're searching for something is by looking at what is in the data in the backend. They're obviously scanning your listing, and they can even scan your images and your A+ and your video to understand details from there. But they want you to provide them and feed them the actual specifics that are going to be important to identifying the best fit for the customer. And actually, Amazon hides a lot of the valid values. So you'll have to go through a number of browse tree guides and different files. Actually, in flat files, it's hard to actually see all of the valid entries that they're supposing are kind of right for your subcategory. And the manual discovery of those terms is actually pretty slow and sometimes unreliable. So oftentimes we'll be guessing from competitor listings and spending a lot of time comparing different spreadsheets. So backend fields, why they matter. So this is an example. It's a screenshot from the backend of the listing. A lot of us have spent some time in here, so we'll know what it looks like. So why they're important. So they index your product for more relevancy. It improves Amazon's understanding of your product's purpose and use, increases potential to rank higher for those search terms that are going to be in here, enhances the long-term discoverability, so organic rank, and drives more conversions because you're more visible in the right times. So the solution that we came up with, and it's not perfect, it's like I said, V2, still in beta, but we're getting much closer now. It's to extract, the solution helps us to extract the valid backend field values specific to your subcategory through a file that we ask you guys to put together, and then match the keywords that are highly relevant and high search volume to some of those valid backend fields. And then we put all that data together, and we generate a clean file that's ready to use. And we also throw in some additional optimized content just because we're already in there for the front end as well as like an added bonus. So to get started, basically what you would need is to download 3 files. It's the Amazon doc, Scrape doc, and a keyword doc. Everything is kind of outlined in a video on that page. It's very simple. It takes a little bit of time, maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get all the documents together. The keyword, no, I'm sorry, the keyword doc requires you to have maybe a free subscription to Helium 10, or maybe you know what some of your high relevancy, high volume keywords are from Amazon directly if you already have data, that conversion data. Scrape doc is basically using a free tool to take the details in the back end of the UI. That's the most accurate way to get the up-to-date valid values that Amazon is basically telling you for your subcategory. And then there's additional valid value information that we pull from the backend. So you upload your data. This is what the form looks like on the site. You put in the URLs, so your Amazon URL, your website URL, and then the email where you want to be sent, and we spin it together and send out your doc. So what you get is everything kind of packaged together. You'll have your optimized backend search terms, your auto-filled valid values for those fields, backend keyword output, and then everything is clearly aligned and everything makes sense. So basically, we're combining all these different files together in a way that is optimizing for accuracy and relevancy and search volume. So like I said, it's we've been working on it for quite a long time. There's a bunch of logic that goes into building this tool. The first version was just a GPT that had a little bit of a prompt put together, but it was kind of like our first iteration. Now this iteration is more defined and understands a lot more than it ever did before. So you can claim it here. If you're interested, you can go to amzbrain.ai or just scan this QR code. Nobody's ever done this before. I've spoken to a lot of people and no one's really paying attention to this. And I think it's just becoming more and more important to have something that you can lean into that helps you to expedite this process. Just because, like I was saying earlier, semantic-based search, intent-based search is becoming more prominent. Yeah, it'll help you to get some rank. So please claim it over here, and we'd love to hear feedback from you guys. We are not going to have this for free forever. For the time being, like I said, it's a V2. Once we get into V3, it'll be a more automated process where you'll just hook your account in, and it'll basically just do all the data collection for you. So it'll save you that 5 to 10 minutes. But right now, with those 5 to 10 minutes, you can even send it to your VA or your team. So you don't have to do it yourself. If you're the business owner and you're busy, this is something that's easy to just kind of hand off to somebody on your team. So that's time for me. Thank you guys for watching. All right. Now I'll be handing this off to Brian.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that presentation. That's a good way to get us kicked off here. Let me go ahead and share screen. And just confirm that you guys can see the slide.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So today I'm going to be talking about, as far as beneath the rankings, this is a research project that I've been on for the last over 2 years now. And what we did in order to use AI to uncover the true drivers behind A9 and its ranking algorithm. A little quote that I like from Kimberly Crenshaw is, treating different things the same can generate as much inequality as treating the same things differently. It simply just means that sometimes you got to look at it from a completely different perspective in order to really see, how things need to be set up and need to be viewed. One of the things that we hear as sellers and solution providers, certainly a lot of the best practices that are echoed across the industry is common phrases like optimize your product listing, advertise long tail keywords, run promotions, coupons, giveaways, you name it. Stack popular high volume search terms, stuff them all into your title, or even run influencer campaigns off platform, which frankly, all of these and more, I should have added in. Apologies, Chad, should have added in as far as like variable price, changes. But these all work, but they don't necessarily, all of these don't necessarily work for every product, nor do they work every time. And so that continued to beg the question of, if we're pushing really hard on any one of these things, why isn't it working as well for me as it is for one of my competitors? So oftentimes we write it off as, oh, they must be doing black hat. Not necessarily. It's simply just we didn't understand how the algorithm. This is a question I've been working on for the last 10 years in the Amazon space, and I just decided to actually tackle it in the last 2 years. So it comes back down to, why isn't my product ranking higher, even when I follow those best practices, so that I can outperform my competitors? What am I missing? So we came up with our hypothesis, like, okay, what if Amazon's A9 algorithm doesn't actually rank products by a universal formula that they use across the entire platform? Rather, it uses different rules for different product niches and rewarding unique combinations of elements and content and ranking factors depending on things like context, competition, consumer behavior. We had already observed, as I'm sure a lot of you have as well, is a product may outperform on specific key metrics, review, price, content quality, yet we still can't get it to outrank competitors. Why? Listing changes that maybe we match, or a competitor matches us as far as, for instance, a title change, and we make a change, they make a change, and they jump up in rank, but we don't. Wait, hold on. Why is that? Why did it work for them and not for us? High-ranking products, we certainly can observe is like, well, they seem to share a lot of similarities in structure and content density. I'm doing everything that everybody else is doing that I'm competing with, and yet I'm still not beating them in rank. There must be something I'm missing. And the promotions and ads perform great in some cases, but as you all know, it can be at a very high cost in other situations. Why did it work well here? Why did it fail over here? Not enough granularity. That begs the question to us is, if we were to analyze enough data across thousands of products, thousands of search terms, all the categories, all the subcategories, can we reverse engineer the patterns A9 rewards? And of course, spoiler alert, yes, that is possible. So we realized, first of all, when we were trying to keep up with any changes, any new tools that Amazon was rolling out, Rufus, Cosmos, all these things that are coming out now, of course, Amazon has always rolled out something new, whether it's an ad platform or on Seller Central or Vendor Central, any of these. The layouts, we realized that we didn't need to actually improve on Amazon's own model of catalog clarity, product classification, and search personalization, which they've advanced quite a bit recently. We just needed to decode how that model already behaves in the wild, already on Amazon, so that we could understand, like, what is the difference between myself and my competitors on the products for every single search term, so that I can see the gaps, I can see the blind spots, I can see the strengths and the weaknesses. So we set out and we built our own, and it was not easy, nor did it take the first time. It took many iterations. We created our own brute force data collection model, one that pulls in so much data that we end up, our deep learning model ends up cranking through tens of millions. We have some niches are 5 million, some are 40 million, so it really kind of depends on the size of the product niche, of the subcategory. And so we're pulling in tens of millions and analyzing tens of millions of combinations of data, which should be enough, but I always want more. So I'm always adding more and more and trying to balloon that number up even higher. We had to develop our own deep learning models, which leverages AI, and our own predictive analytics, which also utilizes AI. Funny thing about that is that AI is not a magic button. You can't just say, like, okay, AI, turn on and do this thing. It's getting easier, but at the time, 2 years ago, of course, we had to understand it all mechanically, spreadsheets and databases and everything, before we could actually build out the AI and the deep learning models in order to create things like predictive analytics and be able to predict the future, if you will. What did that actually get us to the point where we could observe? So some things that really stood out to us is that each subcategory is treated differently. We didn't know that. A9 rank logic is actually unique to each product niche. A product niche is a collection of search terms used to find products, not necessarily a browse node or a subcategory, but call it a subcategory if that's easier. An example on that is that price would weigh heavily to impact A9 ranking in a commodity like toilet paper, yet probably not much at all on something like a luxury watch, right? Where they're something like product reviews and review rating, star ratings are going to have a much bigger impact on A9 than something like price. We certainly observe is that rank does not guarantee sales. In other words, a product can rank well and still not actually belong there. We've had plenty of instances where we've taken a product in it for a search term and moved it from position 20 up to position 3 or 2, and yet it still didn't convert, right? A couple of things we figured out on that is relevant. What's the relative position to competitors? If your relative conversion rate is poor or at a negative relative to your competition, your competitive set, it's still not going to convert near as well as what you think it should at that particular rank. So just because you get there doesn't mean it actually is going to produce the results you want. So you got to pick your battles. More narrow niches, ones that have where there's a limited number of search terms. An example on that would be like, say, electronics typically have things like model numbers, and everybody who's selling that product has to have that in their title. They don't have a choice. There's a lot of product categories that are like that there's only a limited number of search terms that consumers use to find the products, and they have to put it in their title. Therefore, a lot of the titles look very similar. In those cases, title optimization and precision in that title SEO makes a difference, makes a much more impactful difference. Sometimes I've seen as much as a 30 to 40% impact on the A9 algorithm when it comes to organic ranking, just based on whether one word is in front of another inside of the title. Rank does not also necessarily equate to stability. You can use things in order to game the system to temporarily increase sales velocity and rank higher, or you can do a handful of optimizations, content optimizations and price optimizations, these kind of things, and you can rank. But what you'll see is that oftentimes it'll just sit there and bounce around. It's like it's not staying up, and it's not stable up in top 5, for instance. It bounces around. A lot of times that is because not enough of the factors that matter to A9 are fully optimized relative to your competition. It's always going to be relative to what your competition is doing and what your pace is as far as improving that relative to your competition. So the A9 sees you're constantly getting better and better relative to your competitor products. We do know, though, that, of course, kind of a dust statement, magic bullets work. Things like lightning deals and giveaways and some of these big promotions, they do work temporarily. However, they do not guarantee that you're going to stick the landing, as they say, as far as increasing the rank and then staying there, right? Back to life, back to reality, if anybody remembers that one. So what it came down to, what this kind of boiled down to, and we've got hundreds of other observations, of course, to go along with that, but ranking isn't just about doing more. It's not about hitting a specific metric. It's not about like, what percentage conversion rate should I be at? It's not that at all. It's about aligning better with how Amazon's A9 algorithm currently interprets the niche, and how are you doing relative to your competition? So question comes back. It's like, cool, Brian, that's awesome. You did all this data research and everything, but what can I do today that doesn't require the advanced tech that we have over at our company? First and foremost, play the odds. We see certain, we analyze over 100 search rank factors, and I'll show you as far as like what the big 3 are. Biggest one always comes up every single time. Title is usually in the top 3 as far as the most impactful on ranking, as far as ranking search terms on Amazon. Don't just stuff your title or your content fields with high volume search terms, especially your title. What you do want to do is you want to include the highest converting words or phrases. Now, I don't have time to go in to teach you here follow with me afterwards, how to check your brand analytics and search query performance in order to check your relative conversion rates to your competition, relative click-through rates, all that kind of stuff. But that is what you'll need to do for all the search terms that you want to go after and that you have in your title. You must be checking that. If you haven't looked at your brand analytics and analyzed your relative position to your competitors for words and phrases that are in your title, you're going to fall behind, guaranteed. Your bullet points is often the second content field. Title, probably twice as much impact on A9 as all the rest of the content fields, but your bullet points would probably come in a close second. And again, you don't want to necessarily stuff it, but this is where you start really speaking to your customer as far as compelling them to, like, here's why you want the product, here's the benefits. You got to mix that in, but you also want to make sure is that if you're going to put terms in there, don't just put words in there. You can get away with that in the title as far as just using single words or combinations of multiple phrases and just kind of put them all into the same phrase. In the bullet points and other content fields, you really want to try to implement the full phrases, not because it requires that, because it gives you another opportunity to have a full phrase relevance rather than just a word sprinkled all over the place that then can be combined. So, increasing your sales velocity. It doesn't require a massive investment. It doesn't require a huge, ad spend. You simply just need to do slightly better than you were before. What I'm suggesting you test is just try to sell on the search terms that you've identified are highest converting for you, highest relative to your competition. Ideally, just try to sell one more unit per week through PPC. Just a slight bump can oftentimes make a huge difference on a lot of your search terms. Try that because it's the easiest to accomplish, it's the easiest to measure, and it's most likely to create an increase in your organic rank. Test that out. Ultimately, what you want to do, right? Those are the top three, but ultimately what you want to do is you want to be able to pay closer attention to what your competitors are doing. I understand that's difficult. That's why I built, the platform that I did, is so that we could automate all of this. But A9 is absolutely going to reward your ranking on Amazon when you continually outsmart your competitors, not just by hitting arbitrary fixed numbers. What click-through rate do I need? That's the wrong question. The question is, what's the click-through rate of my typical competitor, and how do I beat that? That's your question, right? Conversion rate, price point, all the elements, what words, how well am I optimized for SEO on each of the content fields? The list goes on and on. You want to try to keep observing as far as what the changes are to your competition's content fields, as well as how that affects their organic rank. That is it. I'm not sure where I'm at on time, but there's no offer here. It's just like, if you need to reach me and get, pick my brain or ask some specific questions, that QR code just takes you to to my LinkedIn profile. So,
thank you very much, Brian. I love the cowboy hat, man.
Thanks.
All right. Next up, Isabella.
I probably should wear my cowboy hat, and I'm not, because I'm the most relevant to the cowboy hat here.
Are you wearing the cowboy boots?
And I'm not wearing them right now, too. I am in a freaking jacket, trying to be official here. Anyway, it's great when you have something to rank and you're thinking about ranking. But what if your product is a shit show, and no matter how you rank it, is just not being sold because nobody wants it? So my name is Isabella Ritz, and we guys are going to walk through today a very short path how you can actually build your product with AI. It doesn't mean you don't have to think. It doesn't mean you don't have to validate. You still have to look what AI is building for you and how you're supposed to test it against competitors. It's something that I'm about to share with you is the fragment of it's a part of my piece of my presentation from Seller Summit. And at the end, I will give you the QR code so you can scan and get this presentation into your text message or email. So if you would want to have like the whole thing, like what she was talking about in the beginning and at the end, you will be able to have it. So let's quickly jump into that. And I promise I will keep myself inside of this 10 minutes that Pasha dedicated for me to speak here. So, and thank you for having me here as well. Okay, so when we guys are, first of all, can you see my presentation? Because
yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So when we're building product, we have to follow two primary guidances, right? So we have to make sure that the product is being validated based on the search demand, and people are actually searching for it, right? So we have audience to sell to, and we can build something that your audience will be willing to purchase, and more than pay a higher price than they pay to your competitors. Because when your competitors are selling a shit show product that nobody wants, you have a huge opportunity to develop something that your competitors will stay behind you and not ahead of you, right? So this is where you will have something to actually rank. So I was using Voc AI and I was using GPT prompts. You guys, if you will have this, the access to this presentation, you will have access to this because it's all clickable. So Voc AI will lead you to the page where I already scraped 1,200 reviews for the product that is puzzle tables. I just took this product as an example. So when you're working with Voc AI, you will be able to find out who this product is being sold, when this product is being purchased, where this product is being used, and what is this product is being purchased for. So as you can tell, gift giving is a huge one here. And we always have one primary target avatar that we're working with, and we have several target avatars that we're targeting as a secondary and the less important one. This is where you're building variations, if it makes sense. So puzzle table, if I want it, great. Will I actually purchase for myself? I don't know, but 43% out of 100 actually purchasing this product as a gift giving. So we can go through the rating optimization and look at what people hate about the product and what they don't. If you will keep following the redness, you will definitely not be able to rank and sustain on the market, but you will definitely can improve the listing and the product if you will follow the green ones. Now we have customer sentiment that we have to learn about. We have positive feedback, we have buyer motivations, and we have customer expectations for the product. To read all this and structure will be extremely difficult for you if you're human being. And that's what we've been doing in the past. We've been reading the reviews, we've been structuring the reviews, we've been trying to create the customer avatar. Now we can do all this with AI. So I simply can download all this insights all together into my computer. Then I'm going to chat GPT. All this redness that you guys see on the right side, it's because when you upload it and then you're coming back to your chat, you just can see it again, but this is data from this specific scraping. And now I'm just saying, please read this data, don't do anything. That's my primary goal. And then after GPT read it, I said, please create customer avatar for puzzle tables based on the data I uploaded here. That's simple. Now I have my primary customer avatar, which is like with the age 45 to 70, makes sense, right? Those people actually have money to pay for this. Now I have graphics for this product. I have voice of customer, what they say about the product. I have pain points, and I have all this structured, and it's easy for me as a user, as a seller, to read and understand. Most of the entrepreneurs, like myself included, we have ADHD. It's hard to read, to structure, to think. We are go people. We just need to take action immediately. So now I'm asking, please create a list of the deal breakers to purchase this product by the primary customer avatar. So because we do have several different avatars for each product, I do want to create the deal breakers for only one, for the primary one. So now I have the list of the deal breakers. And after I have a huge list of it, I'm asking, please reverse engineer this product. Why do we do that? Because I don't want to develop any product that is already on the market and that my shoppers are already not satisfied with. So I want to develop product that my shoppers will actually love and they would want to purchase. So because of that, I am getting a list of reverse engineered features for my product, and I have it all in details. I even have deconstruct the competitor's product. So I have frame, drawers, weight, size, finish, how to assemble it, design appeal, and I have the price point. And if you will take a look, the price point at 69 to 129, which means this product can be purchased on the low side and on a high side. And when I was doing the monitoring, you actually can purchase this product way higher. You can buy it at like 200 or 250 or even more if it's luxury, but not for Amazon though. Now we're rebuilding the better version of this product. And after that, I'm asking, please create a mock-up of the product that will beat my competitors. And I got the first version. I think it's not really nice, but it's better than some simple versions. So I'm saying, do you think there is a room for improvement? So I'm kind of priming, I'm using Socratic method, not just for people, but also for ChatGPT. So now GPT is creating for me the room for improvement, and I have another list, and now I'm asking, please recreate a mockup. So now I have completely different version here. And now to move forward faster, because again, I don't like to have the reiterations, I am saying, here's my competitor, look at this picture and don't do anything. And now I'm asking, please simulate a sample of 100 people who match my customer avatar and run poll comparing 3 versions of the puzzle table and ask them the following question. If you are shopping for a puzzle table, which one would you purchase and why? Collect and compile these responses, including reasons behind their choices. Be as objective as human like as possible when presenting the feedback. And now I'm asking also additionally create a visual representation of the polls results, because I'm a visual person. I want to see everything, how it looks like. So now I have first version, second version, and third version. And it tells me that the 2 versions that he created actually lost. This is the version of the competitor. So I have like, okay, if the version of the competitor is 49 votes and I have simulation that 2 my versions that ChatGPT created is pretty bad, I'm saying that based on the feedback provided, create a list of suggested improvements. And now I got a list because this poll was simulated based on my customer avatar that's been fed into the data. And now I'm asking, will you be able to create a perfect mockup? So now it's telling me what kind of the mockup supposed to be, and it's recreating the mockup also with the puzzle tables. So now I'm saying, please run my poll against competitors again. And this is what I got. I'm still losing. It's already better, but I'm still losing. So what I did next, I uploaded the version that ChatGPT created with the competitor into the Pigful. And I gathered additional feedback from Pigful. And I said, this is the responses I've got from the Pigful. Please recreate another version. And after I uploaded these responses, which of course I didn't read, now I have additional information about my product. And now GPT creates for me a new version of this. And I'm like, okay, this one will probably look way better. Now let me test it against competitor. So now this is the competitor that is selling on Amazon pretty good. And that's the product ChatGPT recreated for me based on the results and based on the sequence of events I asked to, because I said you have to build the product and improve the product based on the consumer's feedback. And then I also ran a poll when we got a little bit closer to the results with Pigful, and I fed GPT with better results here. So now I have a winner. And of course, I can improve, because when Reach Momentum was creating products for the clients, we're usually doing the improvements when it will be 20, 80, 30, 70 in some niches, because some niches are very, very competitive and very, very hard. But we're trying to stay with 80-20, when if we can improve to 80-20 or 90-10, where 90 will be in our favor, we do that. So, and this is where you guys can guarantee yourself, if you will follow the process, you can make the product that will be better than your competitor, and you will not spend a dime on inventory knowing that you can miss. And now, if you want to have access to my presentation and a lot of these cool tools and things that I was going through, you can scan it, and you're more than welcome to have it. And if some links will not work for you at all, just let me know, and I will just create a Loom and you guys will have access, because sometimes when you're adding some charts from GPT to the links, some people just can't open it, but I'm more than happy to provide you insights. And I think I'm done. I have a question. Innovation and product after giving the pain points to what's the possibly we have successful launch? Oh, that's probably for engagement from LinkedIn. But thank you for watching, guys. Done. Pasha.
Nice.
10 minutes, exactly.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Isabel.
Of course.
Nope. Where am I? Here I am. All right, Chad, you're up.
me share my screen here. Give me 1 second. Let me know when you could see it. Don't show these tips again. All right, all right. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Got it.
Yep.
Amazing. Awesome. So we got a lot to cover today. Got 10 minutes. You start my clock. Let's rock and roll. So before we jump in, why am I qualified to talk about spying on competition and pricing? Well, I've been in this space for 17 years. I got the hair loss to prove it. I currently run Prophecy, right? A dynamic pricing software. So I live and breathe this stuff. I help brands win on profit and rank all the time. But on top of that, I'm also a seller, right? So I've lived through the margin squeeze. I've lived through category saturation with China. I've lived through the pandemic. And so what I'm going to share with you today is not theory at all. It's something that I've done in practice with my own e-commerce business because my own P&L has been really crushed over the past couple of years. Side note, right? I built Subana. I sold that in 21. I built Prosper Show with 3 other people. We sold that in 2019. So I've been doing this a long time. So let's hop into it. So I want to start by asking you a really simple question. What if you can spy on your competition and reverse engineer exactly how they price and then outprice them in a way that increases your profit without actually spending more money on ads? And I know this sounds aggressive, but it's actually true because I've actually done it myself for my own business. We still sell on Amazon today. And I've been doing this since 2006. So I call this AI pricing warfare. So by the end of this presentation, right, you're going to have a playbook to weaponize your pricing against competitors and to profit and rank. So most people in the market actually price by looking at their competitors. They copy a competitor who copied somebody else, and that's exactly how you price your product, and it just stays there. So you're just leaving your price there for a really long time and not changing it. And so the question is like, why would you copy somebody that's broke? And that's exactly what's happening today on Amazon. So let's just talk about some quick math around why pricing is important, though, and really you should put your attention to it. Now, I know with tariffs, the beautiful thing about tariffs, the positive outcome is that now pricing is front and center. And people realize the power of price, and they really are wondering, well, how do I change pricing appropriately? So let's do some simple math together. Let's say you sell a product, $14.97, a trite garlic press. I love this example. You got the costs, Amazon takes their cut, you walk away with $7.11 of profit on this item. Not bad, but hold on to this number, right? 711, and the absolute profit dollars of $28,000, because we're going to do something simple. You're now going to change price by $1. You're going to raise it. Nothing fancy. Your referral fee increases because Amazon's take increases, but your profit per unit jumps to $7.96. And so if you actually convert that into the monthly profit, it's a meaningful gain, right? And so what that is a 12% profit increase on one SKU just by changing $1. And that's a 4x conservative multiple. That's $163,000 of enterprise value if you were to sell your business, all because of $1. Okay, so here we go. Chad, it's $1. It's a rounding error. Who cares? It's like nothing, but nobody touches it. No one actually touches their price on Amazon. Maybe they run a deal and they don't even know why they're running a deal these days anymore. But price is the only lever in the business that doesn't require new creative. It doesn't require extra inventory. It just actually requires you to use data to drive the decisions, and it instantly impacts your margin. It's amazing. It all drops to the bottom line. So here's what we're going to do today. Now you get how powerful pricing is. We're going to make it real. I'm going to show you exactly how to spy on your competitors' pricing strategy and beat them at their own game. You ready to dive in? Let's do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go find a garlic press or any other product on Amazon. Find one that you just haven't been able to beat. You're going to find an ASIN that's outranking you. What you're going to do is you're going to take a screenshot of that ASIN. So you're going to get the image, you're going to get the badges, you're going to get the price. We're going to do the next step. The second step is we're going to pull in the Keepa graph. So I have nothing to do with Keepa. I think it's a great software that nobody talks about. This chart is like the Rosetta Stone of Amazon pricing. It shows you the rise, it shows you the fall of the price of your BSR. Now they've added velocity for US specific sellers. It shows you if they ran out of stock. It shows you if they launch a coupon and how it impacted the ranking position. Step 3, we're going to feed this graph to Claude. Now you can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude. In this case, I used Claude, but I built a monster prompt around it. Now here's where it gets wild. Okay, so Claude can analyze visual patterns. It can pick up on price elasticity. It can pick up on stockouts. It can pick up on keyword triggers, but you have to prompt it the right way. And that's where this God prompt comes in. And if you read it, you'll see it here. It's a really well-built prompt. You're a data analysis expert with godlike reasoning and a profound pricing data science technical knowledge. I've got 5 minutes. Your job is to help me interpret this e-commerce product, analyze it, right, and break it down for me. Right away, here's the prompt. If you want the prompt, just use this QR code, grab it. It's a proven prompt, okay? And so then we're going to go to the next step. Now it actually gives you your optimized prices or your competitors' optimized prices and sees what their strategy is and how you can learn from their strategy. It shows you the profit impact. It shows you the sales projections. It even shows you elasticity scores. You test it, you measure it, and you can repeat it. It's all a workflow, but it's going to actually deliver you more margin at the end of the day. So the single prompt actually is telling you if Q4 shoppers are going to pay 48% more without hurting your rank. It's going to show you when to push prices into the slow season. That's all you need to do is drop this in. Again, you want every ASIN. Prophecy does this automatically for you, but you could do it by brute force. And if you're going to do it by brute force, I'll show you that in a second. But what we just did is we reverse engineered your competitor's pricing. We used the Keep It chart. We used Claude. We used one prompt, and this prompt delivers immediate money. It's amazing. There's no team of analysts that you need to make this happen. Okay, so the old school approach, a simple spreadsheet. It tracks price moves and velocity, and it's better than nothing. And actually, this is what I used before starting Prophecy. So I would every day have a VA go in and update based on the intention that I want to set up for a specific SKU. You log your price, you log your units, you log patterns, and you set up your intention for the SKU, and you see and let data drive the decisions. Now, pricing on Amazon specifically, the reason why it's hard and the reason why no one's been able to build what Prophecy has built is that, well, it's super hard what we do. And there's so many signals and so much data to process, no one's been able to do it. It's about connecting the dots, right? You need to essentially take these signals and convert them into actions. So this is a pricing muscle that you can use. You can get this spreadsheet here, scan this code, fill it out, and you can validate the decisions that you're making for your own catalog. And this is for manual price adjustments. And in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the reason why this is so difficult, right, is there's so many signals on Amazon to process. The manual work breaks at a certain point. This is why I started Prophecy. And manual tracking fails because you have market forces, you've got economic swings, you've got the tariff situation that just happened, you have what your competitors are doing, you have how Amazon reacts to price changes, how your customers react to price changes, right? So there's all of this stuff that's happening on a specific ASIN. And it's super duper hard to do this. This is just for one ASIN, right? Imagine doing this across all your ASINs, super hard. So what you're looking at here is AI actually does not miss this. Our specific AI, specifically with Prophecy, right? We like doing this the manual way is okay, but now you can unlock even more money across your entire catalog. And I'm going to share with you a really good case study. A lot of people don't want to share their data. Luckily, I have people all over prophecy.com that are willing to share their data, but I'm going to just walk you through one example that's pretty amazing. And this is Mina. Mina has the red of profit this year, blue of profit last year. We dynamically change price down below here. And you can see down below, we're surging price and we're actually delivering her more profit. That profit gap widens, that mispricing opportunity that we capitalizing exists, and we made him a whole lot more money. If you want to see what this looks like on Amazon.com, you can see his Keep It chart right here. It's a banger. I want to show this to you. It's so good. Check it out, right? We change pricing. He never changes price like most brands. We start changing price. And what you see is an inverse relationship between the price and the ranking position. It spreads. We make him 7 figures more money. It's pretty amazing. So back to the slides, right? On average at Prophecy, we see a 10% lift in profit. But if you want those dollars on your P&L, book a quick pricing audit with me. Feel free to reach out to me. chat@prophecy.com is my personal email address. I'm happy to share the slides, the prompts, the spreadsheet, whatever you need. I want to be here to support the community. So scan it and connect with me. I think that's 15 seconds ago. I yield my time. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, Chad. I really like the God prompt part. Never heard that term. All right. Brian got the glasses on for that presentation. Dana, you're up, man.
Okie dokie, let's do it. Let's see. I'm going to share screen. Let's see, window. All right, you should see us here. And do you see my presentation?
Not yet.
No. But maybe it's coming.
For now,
No?
I see us.
Okay. All right. Should be sharing the whole window. That's weird. All right, let me try a tab then.
There you go.
Nothing? Okay, good. All right. So I'll go ahead and presentation mode. Let's make sure it still looks good. Look okay?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, awesome. All right, sweet. So I'm in the review business. I help Amazon sellers remove negative reviews. And a little bit about myself is that I've been a seller for 15 years. I'm active to this day. I sell in the supplements category. And funny story, actually, my wife is right next to me doing photography for our next batch of products. But I've been in the seller service provider and software side of the business as well for the last 7 years. And so I've had the opportunity to experience both sides, the software and the seller side. And eventually I made Ecom Triage. And so I'm going to go into one of my main services, which is review removal. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because I think everybody understands the importance of reviews. But just a few statistics are that a single 1-star can cancel out as many as 10 5-star reviews. And it's possible to locate suspicious patterns. I'll go over that in a little bit better detail in a second here. And then dropping just 0.1 stars can slash your sales up to 50%. So that's that 4.3 to 4.2 fulcrum point where you go from displaying a 4.5 star to a 4-star. So when it comes to review removal, first of all, it is possible. It takes a lot of work, but it's possible. And you can do it 100% TOS compliant. And the results of that are increased traffic, increased sales, better conversion rate, and ideally a better rating as well. But that doesn't always happen. However, you tend to still see an increase in sales. So I'm going to start off by giving you the GPT that I've created here. I have gone on a really, really deep dive into every policy I can possibly find having to do with reviews. And this GPT is trained on all of that. And as well as the format that you need to send to Amazon in order to get reviews removed. So I'm going to continue on a little bit and just go into the non-compliant reviews and how to identify them. But the GPT is going to help you with that as well. But a few things that you need to look at, because you may not want to go through every single one of your reviews, is that if it's got shipping related or FBA related information, profanity, hate speech, repetitive content, it's not actually a product review. So reviews like bad, didn't like, really short, no context at all. If it gives medical advice, comments about pricing and competitors, or I found it cheaper over at Walmart, believe it or not, those reviews get through and they're non-compliant. If it's got any personal data in there, of course, can't remove it. Or if you can prove that an account, a buyer account, is leaving negative reviews across multiples of your products, that actually goes more into the fraud category, but that's a part of it. So when it comes to identifying fraudulent reviews, so you want to look for profiles that only leave extremely alarming reviews. And that could be primarily that refers to 1 stars, but it can also be, hey, they did 2 1 stars on this and that cup, and the most amazing 5-star review you've ever read in your life on the 3rd cup. That just screams paid reviews, right? Attacking a competitor and reviewing somebody to boost their ratings. Sometimes I see duplicate images or even duplicate reviews from different accounts. So they're not associated accounts, but they have left the exact same review. That's literally impossible. You need to look for spikes in your review pattern. So if you get 1 star per day on average, and suddenly for 3 days you're spiking to 15, 20 reviews each day, I recommend that you manually look at each one of those reviewer profiles and see if you can find anything else that looks suspicious, like only leaving 1 stars, or that's the only review that they've ever done, and the profile name is the exact same as the title of the review that they left. That's pretty good indicators. So I'll show you, this is basically how you use a prompt. Just ask it what you should ask it, and then paste in a review title and body, and then ask it to give you some information. So if you want to contact me about this, feel free, but this is the Review GPT once more, and I'm actually going to give you an example of it in practice. So I'm just on a random, this is a random creatine gummy, only because I know that recently some Chinese brand was found to be selling this. It was a top seller and they literally had no creatine whatsoever. And I'm just going to paste it in there without any context, and let's see what it comes up with. So it did detect a violation. I didn't provide it with the ASIN. You would do that so that when it gives you the template, that it actually gives you something you can more or less copy paste. But it basically gives you all the data on it, tells you what the violation is, and then gives you the rough template that you would take and send this out to Amazon. So I don't actually need any more time than that. I'd like to just let people know that and this is free to use, by the way. So I'm not asking for any. It's free to use, and I want your feedback on this, by the way. So please tell me what is and isn't working for you.
Very cool.
That's very cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Danon.
Yep.
All right. Now we got Timur.
Great. So I probably will give more technical talk this time, given that I'm also my background mostly in AI research. I spent 8 years working specifically in multimodal AI. And so I will speak about optimizing for the future of AI-powered search and how to adopt generative engine optimization techniques on marketplaces and beyond. So we spoke briefly about what was before ChatGPT, and yes, it was Google and still Google. But before Google, there was Yahoo, and in 2000s, Google introduced a major breakthrough from tech perspective with their PageRank algorithm. And they went in a few years from half of the Yahoo search results to 10x. And so the major innovation was this PageRank algorithm, how to connect pages. And we feels like we're in the same inflection point this time. It's just ChatGPT and other AI engines and search engines are taking over. And obviously back then also there were winners and losers. So just as an example, like TripAdvisor, they understood quickly how this Google underlying algorithm works. So they created multiple pages about all these destinations, and they quickly become number one in the search results and became $14 billion company. And there was a virtual tourist who was launched months before TripAdvisor, also in San Francisco, but nobody probably heard about them recently because they shut down and they were not able to adapt to this massive shift that was happening back then. And we see that this massive shift is happening now. So LLM search and AI search becoming a new default, both on marketplaces and off marketplaces. So Amazon introducing Amazon Rufus, and it's kind of taking more and more adoption from the consumers. ChatGPT introduced ChatGPT search. Just 10 days ago, they announced the kind of partnership with Shopify and ability for consumers to buy directly in ChatGPT results and click one button and buy from their interface. So we see this adoption happening, and actually 60% of US adults use chatbots for product research. And yeah, that probably will be, this adoption will be increasing. So for this talk, I would just like to show what could sellers do in order to adopt. So ChatGPT is basically a new channel, new place where people spend their time. And in order to adopt, I would advise to start with the first audit to see if your own brand is actually visible. What do you see there? And it could be different from what you see in Google search results. So just start from there to see what are these links and citations that kind of authorities for your websites, and maybe try to change your brand kind of perceptions from there. So the second advice would be to create custom GPTs. So it's a quite popular approach, and yeah, even on this webinar, it was great to see that we saw a number of GPTs offered. And yeah, so to create your own GPT is could be another way to reach this end consumers who are spending time on ChatGPT. And the third one is optimized for Bing. It could sound strange, but the reality is ChatGPT use search results not from Google but from Microsoft Bing. And actually, nobody was like, it's not a very popular place where people spend time and effort sometimes optimizing. But in ChatGPT case, it could be an option, because some of the search results actually kind of feeding the responses that we see on ChatGPT. So that was quickly on ChatGPT. On Rufus, Amazon Rufus kind of provide in many ways a superior experience. We see that it's easier, like customers are never happy and they want to see something new. And yeah, Amazon providing this experience. So it's a new experience. People just describe what they want, and they can buy a chair. So it's it's a personal example. So buying a chair, office chair, define specific use case and what should be included. And Rufus recommended specific chair, and this chair was bought straight away. But the reality is, it was not in the traditional search results. So this results was number one that was recommended, but it was not in the standard search results. And yeah, so that's kind of provide the idea that it's important to take in consideration how to optimize for this AI search. And it could be actually bigger than mobile, because like maybe its adoption is not huge at the moment, but it was the same with mobile, like starting with 8% and then just 80% at the moment searching through mobile and on Amazon. So it could be the same with AI search. So we actually estimated indirectly how many searches are happening on Amazon Rufus, and it was 30%. How we come up with this number, just looking indirectly on this announcement about how much underlying compute Amazon use in order to deliver this Rufus LLM responses. And we did some calculation, and it shows that based on how much compute they spend, so it's about 30% of searches are happening on Amazon Rufus at the moment. So yeah, and it's just a start. So 32% of homes already use Alexa, and like other AI bots could be buying on our behalf with just a voice. And yeah, so it's potentially a next milestone where AI shopping assistants will be buying on our behalf and adopting and preparing that we need to optimize not for traditional search but for these AI bots is important. So, and go deeper. So I would like to show this Cosmo algorithm. So Cosmo, what is Cosmo? So it's more like it was published in Amazon. Actually, have this their page. They publish their underlying research to everyone who could read, and it's a common sense algorithm. They call it Cosmo. So, and it's this algorithm that basically partially kind of dictate how their AIs, how their search work. And this Cosmo algorithm already live. So just in this paper was released a year ago, and they already did some tests. So just say disclosing in the paper. So they rolled out this Cosmo algorithm as a search engine on a small portion of Amazon US traffic, and it brought some positive results. And obviously they see it as a success and started rolling out to broader audiences. So just yeah, so that's kind of one part. At the same time, there is a difference with what AI search results provide and what traditional search provide. So even on if you take an example of Google, so Google AI overviews links are significantly different from traditional organic search results. And it's not only about the number of links. So actually in Google AI overviews, you can see links, but these links are different from the links that we used for traditional search. So it's two different algorithms that we used, and depending on which one is applied, you would get different results. So just it's important to think about this future when this AI search algorithm will take over of traditional ones. And we see already Amazon introducing Amazon Rufus in their standard search bar. So it's kind of happening now. So how to future-proof this? So there are three components. The first one is a shift from keywords to a kind of intent-based matching. I'll quickly show what I mean. So the second one is visual content. So visual content is important more for search optimization than traditionally, where only text contributed to search results. And yeah, continuously monitor and try to optimize your content because these models are changing at much faster pace. So that's very important. So yeah, so I would just quickly, yeah, I think that's what also Pasha was mentioning, that the search becoming less keyword focused, but more semantic focused. It's exactly what was also described in this Cosmo paper. And it's another paper shows that their search is becoming multimodal. It's not only text. They actually can read images. So their technology allows to read images and infographics and understand what's happening there. And we actually saw results as one of the customers, we were optimizing content for them and yeah, optimizing specifically for AI search for Rufus. And yeah, this, for example, this one is infographic that we created for them. It's an image, but Amazon was able to read the content of this image and actually use it and kind of guide the results. So they knew that what are the stats there, but actually optimizing for area search also optimized partially to traditional search. So the same product was able, so we got results that even traditional search, it went up, and at the end, so customer was able to go from outside of top 50 to number 26 on bestseller rank, which was they were happy enough. So underlying technology, we have patented technology, how to do that. Yeah, it's probably a separate topic, how we do it. But so what we provide is two elements, AI visibility analytics, so where customers could check their catalog and see if they're prepared for Rufus and what could be recommended actions for them to do, like Cosmo, Rufus, IDQ scores. We show this for the whole catalog and also as granular as per each SKU. And we provide tools to optimize it, both images and text, A+ content, everything with a click of a button, and optimize it and publish to Amazon. So so it's briefly about the generative engine optimization and the massive shifts that are happening. Everyone welcome to use this 15% discount code on our platform, or reach out via email if any questions.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thanks, Timur. That's great. Sure. Thanks, everybody, for presentations. That brings us to the end of our webinar. Just showing this one comment here. Somebody was asking if there is going to be a way to see the recording after, and the answer is yes. So this is live right now. You can see it on some of our YouTube channels after the fact, but I will be sending out emails as well. So you can just stand by, and sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, you'll have the link in your inbox. So, all right.
Cool. Well, thanks again, for having everybody. Us on, Pasha.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pasha.
Nuggets of gold from everybody. I'll see everybody later.
All right.
That's good. Take care.
Bye.